Just finished cutting up the watermelon and a pineapple, our afternoon snack. And so now what I'll do is with the parts that we don't eat, the rinds, I'm going to cut it up into smaller squares. There's a proper way of cutting it. And so cutting it into smaller squares, we're creating more surface area. And so it'll be easier and faster to decompose. I'll grab these small squares, throw them in a bowl, along with the other waste, and throw it in the compost bin. Alright, we have a day's worth of food waste. So we had our pineapple or watermelon rind, cauliflower from dinner leaves, and some wilted spinach. Now we're going to put it in the big compost bin. Now that we've put in our food waste, we're going to mix it in. There's some dry leaves, some sawdust, and we have mechanical decomposers, the pincher bugs and the roly-polies. And so we'll mix it in. And worms. And decomposers could do their job. And so what you see there with the dirt is we have a rich soil forming from the action of the decomposers.
And spiders are also in there.
You're now ready to make your own composting at home. What you'll need are fresh grass clippings, dry leaves, your compost column. So this is a 2-liter soda bottle, emptied and washed and rinsed and dried. And we're going to cut the top of the 2-liter bottle to create our compost column and fill it up. Next, you'll need tape and scissors, a old towel that you'll use to wrap up the compost column so you can record the temperature before, at the start of the composting, and maybe a couple days after to a week after composting. You'll need some water, and you need starting composting material. Remember that decomposers are made up of mechanical decomposers, which are insects, ants, pincher bugs, soul bugs, as you heard my children mention. And we have chemical decomposers, which we have the bacterium, the fungi that are breaking down organic matter. You could actually buy compost starter, or if you like, you could just go out to the yard and dig up some soil with your decomposers already in them. So this is from my compost pile. I dug up and just grabbed a few sample, like a little bit of sample for the compost pile. That's your materials that you'll need to start your compost column. Time to assemble our compost column. I have a plastic bag which I'll use to mix my ingredients. I'll put some of the grass clippings. Now remember that if you don't have something to measure with, it's okay. You just want to make sure that you grab enough that you're going to fill the compost column. So I'll mix in a couple of handfuls of the grass clippings. I'll mix in a handful of the dry leaves. Yeah. I could either mix in my compost starter, but remember, if you don't have the compost starter, just go ahead and dig up some soil. This is from my current compost bin, and I'll toss it in. And lastly, a little bit of water. Just a tiny bit. Now this itself is an experiment that you could vary the different ingredients, try different compositions, different amounts of the different ingredients to see what would yield the best composting proportions of each of the ingredients. So we'll seal the bag completely. And mix. While I mix, I'm going to also try to break down a little bit of the dry leaves to smaller pieces. Okay, we have our compost material mixed. We're going to now add it to our column. Now that we have our compost column completed, we want to take the temperature of the compost column, and then we're going to wrap the column. We're going to put our top, and we're going to wrap the column up tightly to record the temperature at the start and at the end of the experiment. You could do that every 2 days, up to a week if you like, and record the cellular respiration that is occurring inside the compost column. And one of the products of cellular respiration is heat. So that's what we're recording, is the action of the decomposers by recording that temperature as they break down the matter. All right, so we'll continue that. We'll take the temperature and wrap this up. I have my composting done. So here's my column. I wrapped it up, I insulated so we could record the temperature, recorded the temperature, starting temperature. In a week, I'll record the ending temperature. And the temperature allows us to see the evidence of decomposition by our decomposers, as heat is a product of the cellular respiration processes that are occurring inside the compost column. Now that you know how to make your own compost column, try it out. You don't need a 2-liter bottle. You could modify according to what you have at home. You could use a small water bottle that's a half a liter, or you could use a gallon of milk if you like. Just wash it out before you start. Wrap it nice and tight so you keep that heat trapped, and you could record that heat that's generated, and post your pictures of your compost file to our Blackboard discussion page. Try your own compost column at home. You could start your own composting bin. It doesn't take much. The one that I have looks like an upside down trash barrel. You could do a little compost in a small trash can, and that nutrient-rich soil that results from decomposition could be easily used for growing your own vegetables in your own veggie garden. So I hope you enjoyed watching composting video, and I hope you try it. Thank you.